I didn't even get into this in my opening rant, but I am now that you're here because people are saying, "Man, I thought you gave Deion credit." You know, and it was a competitive game, but I left out my number one complaint with Deion this weekend. Shilo Sanders. They rush him back into the lineup. He plays like dog doo-doo. Deion acknowledges he plays like dog doo-doo. Why was the kid never benched during the game? How could that display go on and on and on the entire game? Deion be aware of it. The kid's coming off injury, and Deion's after the game, well, he was rusty, he was this, he was that. How come you didn't bench him this entire Colorado thing? The way Colorado's defense had been playing without Shilo, you could make an argument like, holy cow, this team improved once Shilo got hurt. The chemistry on this team, the defense on this team improved once Shilo got hurt, and they just jump him back into the lineup like they're throwing Ed Reed or Ronnie Lott back out there. The kid wets his pants, makes a fool of himself. His father's aware of it. They never pull him from the game. This isn't about the University of Colorado. This is about Deion and his sons. Before you comment, let's play the clip, SOT 1, of Deion talking about how bad Shilo played.
On DMVR. Just wanted to ask you about Shilo, just what you thought about his play tonight.
I thought he played horrible. I thought he was rusty. I thought he didn't have his footing. I thought he wasn't breaking down. He was coming up trying to make the play, but open field one-on-one tackle with that kind of back is that ain't an easy task. But he's going to do better. I know what he has in him.
Deion's a defensive back. He could see it in real time. His son's out there playing poorly. Didn't pull him out of the game. They've been playing great defense in the games that Shilo was out. This made no sense to me. Again, Deion's got to humble himself. This is about Deion first, Shedeur second, Shilo third, and everybody else. Travis Hunter, I'd maybe put third and then Shilo. But everybody else, it doesn't matter. If I was the kid that got set down for Shilo and then watched that mess Shilo put on, I'd be in the transfer portal today. Anyway, your thoughts.
You said Ronnie Lott? More like Ronnie Not. I mean, look, people always talk about the issue of nepotism. That's why there's laws against this, right? A lot of state levels. There's no doubt about it. Shedeur Sanders is one of the best quarterbacks in college football. So there's no problem there. I think you bring up a good point. Is he the best strong safety on the Colorado Buffaloes? I mean, that one play where DJ Giddens shook him out of his shoes. Here's the difference between when Deion missed a tackle and when Shilo did. Deion will tell you, I was making business decisions. He didn't want to tackle. Shiloh's actually trying to. And that is an issue. And I'm watching this game, and I thought it was really interesting that if Colorado would have somehow won that game despite being outplayed for much of it, and you look at the numbers, time of possession, first down, total yards, Chris Kleiman, I think, would have been absolutely lampooned the way he handled the last drive or two. When they had the lead before the pick six, that guy when he got tripped up, right, by Hodge. How you don't give the ball to DJ Giddens on 2nd and 6. You're inside Colorado territory with 4 minutes to go, and I'm thinking, okay, it's Giddens time. You dance with what brung you, and they went with 3 straight passes. And I'm thinking to myself, Colorado may be among the luckiest teams I've ever seen. I know people are going to get upset by that. You look at the way Baylor botched that Hail Mary at the end. I'm just telling you, this is not second guessing. When it was 2nd and 6 on that drive, before they retook the lead, I kept saying, okay, hitch your wagon to 31. That kid is running over people. He's running hard. Get Dylan Edwards out of there. He's a little scat back. But again, look, I give Colorado credit for this, though, Jason. They are consistently in some dramatic, exciting, entertaining games. They are the most fascinating reality show in college football by far.
They are, and it's keeping up with the Kardashian Sanders, I guess is what we would call this, or something along those lines. Because again, it's a reality show. It's a reality show about Deion and his sons. His daughter, she got married or had a kid and maybe moved away from Colorado, but this is a reality show about Deion and his sons, and it's mostly about Deion, and it's that's why I'm sitting here in an upbeat mood that like, hey, they've turned football into a reality show, and it's not going to work. And I know they're 4-2, and I know they got Arizona coming up, and that'll be another toss-up game. We shall see. But I don't, Deion was thinking they were going to be in the college football playoffs. And I don't think they got no, if they had to face a BYU, isn't that who they would face in the Big 12 title game most likely? And they've been trouncing everybody. They would get destroyed in a game like that. And look, really, I'm just I've returned to my factory settings. If you have an edge rusher who can pressure the quarterback, you can beat Colorado because Shedeur holds the ball too long, and Shedeur will always, instead of stepping up into the pocket, he's always going to step out of the pocket. And a lot of these sacks are on Shedeur. No one talks about it. There's people evaluating this film at the NFL level that know, Shedeur is a nice little college story. There's some things that we're definitely going to have to work out, because if every time you get a little edge pressure with all these edge rushers we have in the National Football League, if it's always your instinct to go left or right rather than straight forward, we're going to have real problems.
Jason, in college football, sacks are counted in the rushing yards, so that has to be taken into account. Colorado had 27 negative yards rushing. Much of that because their quarterback kept letting the grenade blow up in his hand. And look, I don't know if he does it intentionally or on purpose, but it's a selfish brand of football. There are times when a play is just not going to work. You got to chuck that ball and get to the next down. Jason, I don't know if you noticed this, but during the game when they kept flashing to Deion on camera, I thought he looked very agitated and very irritated. I thought it's the most serious I've ever seen him as a head coach at Colorado, because I think he realized, number one, this is not going to be easy. Number two, we're making way too many mistakes. I actually liked his demeanor because he was actually like really a serious football coach. It wasn't a reality show. Like he kind of knew like, we're in it today against a team that's more disciplined. They have more athletes, and we better find a way to win. I actually didn't sense a lot of jubilation as they retook the lead. I thought it was relief that, oh my God, we might sneak a game in here that we really shouldn't win. That's the way I looked at his body language and facial expression.
That's not how I interpret it, but I think that's a reasonable interpretation that, I'm open to. And I agree with you. I thought for the most of the game, and that's why I tweeted out afterwards, like, hey man, this isn't a bad look. Travis Hunter got hurt, didn't play the entire second half, and they were in this game. And I do give Deion that credit. But when I think about it in totality, when I think about why did Shilo play the second half? It was obvious very early on. Like Shiloh's having a bad game. He's coming off injury. Why is he out here every snap? That's Deion taking care of his kid. Didn't want to hear the complaints at home. And then, I do think he was a bit frustrated with Shedeur and the sacks that they were taking. Yeah. Because anybody with a brain could see like, hey, this ain't really the offensive line. He's not helping them out. He's holding onto the football too long. And as a former offensive lineman, former offensive tackle, when the quarterback bails left or right and you're the offensive, you don't know what's going on behind you, but when the quarterback bails left, he's just made things much more difficult for you. And that's what Shedeur does. People don't want to talk about it. Everybody knows that if you want to stay on Deion's good side, just praise Shedeur. And then you can say anything else, because Deion knows that, like, look, as a head coach, maybe I could get a job and maybe make 10, 12 million bucks a year. But this kid, this quarterback I have, he can make 50, 60 million dollars a year. And so all he wants to hear is people praise his son, and he's all good. Like what you saw? Hit that like button, subscribe, and check out the full episode by clicking the link below.